What you know that Allah has given you, how do you do with that? And then you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open up the possibilities to that which is even more. And that is going from al-hidayah ila rushd. Going from simply being guided to, in terms of your knowledge, to being guided in terms of your actions. As the ulama mentioned about ar-rashidun, about those who are guided, that al-hidayah is guidance fil ilm, is to be guided in regards to your knowledge. Wal-rushd, hidayatun fil amal. To be guided to that next level is to be guided in regards to your deeds. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens up to you the next deed that is pleasing to Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unlocks the ability. Allah azza wa jal unlocks the understanding. And you find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also in the community sense gives you a sense of victory. And when you look at someone like Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, al-Khulafa al-Rashidun, the guided Khulafa, and Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu's ability to discern al-Faruq, the one who is able to see al-Haq wal-Batil, truth and falsehood, and discern. And you see the genius that he brought to his Khilafah, the genius that he brought to systemizing good in this world. A lot of that was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unlocking in the heart and the mind of Umar and in the efforts of Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. That next step to improvise, to be creative, to do amazing things for this ummah. Because whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put in front of him of khair, he applied it to the best of his ability. He's that person that's knocking on the door and that has a stubbornness to get it right, has a stubbornness to make sure that he does not miss out on those things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised. You see this in his grandson Umar ibn Abdul Aziz rahimahullah as well. Improvised amazing things for this ummah. Did not have a defeated mindset when he inherited brokenness, when he saw all of the injustice. And he was able to do so much. And he commented on this idea of knowledge, of this idea of al-ilm, of this idea of being led to the next thing. And he said, rahimahullah ta'ala, إِنَّمَا قَصَّرَ بِنَا عَنِ الْعِلْمِ أو عن علم ما جهلنا تقصيرنا في العمل بما علمنا. He said, what has caused us to miss out on much of the good in regards to what is to come was our refusal to act upon the good that we knew. It's when we failed to act upon the good that we knew. But when we acted upon the good that we knew, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَيُعَلِّمُكُمُ اللَّهُ. Be mindful of Allah and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will teach you. Allah azza wa jal will guide you. Dear brothers and sisters, when we look at the world today and we look at those who have held down the ground, who have held down the fort in regards to all sorts of khair, the first way that the Prophet ﷺ described at-Ta'if al-Mansura, those people that are successful and those people that have been granted victory, ظاهرين على الحق, they have clarity. They have clarity. They have victory upon the truth. And one of the reasons why they have victory upon the truth is because they are absolutely undeterred. لا يضرهم من خذلهم ولا من خالفهم. They're absolutely undeterred by those who betray them and those who are in front of them. They remain steadfast upon the truth, knocking upon every door. To them, victory is always imminent. Success is imminent. They believe that they will win. And half of winning is believing that you will win. They believe that they will win. And that allows them to stay the course. And they're never intimidated by what is ahead of them because they understand that they are struggling for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah azza wa jal opens up doors for them. One of the beautiful narrations when you look at the battle of Qadisiyah, Al-Qa'qa'a radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, when he sees the elephants that are coming from the Persians. This is a difficult obstacle. Many people look at that and they say, run, elephants. There's no way that we can face these elements that will stomp on us. And he said, كَمَا لَهُمْ فِيلٌ نَصْنَعْ نَحْنُ فِيلٌ. They have elephants, we'll make elephants. We'll turn our camels into elephants. We'll figure it out. We'll stay the course. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens up victory for them. And that is the case for the Muslims. That they look at the world around them and they don't just say, you know what, inshallah khair. exert themselves to the extreme in regards to their sincerity with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They think about it constantly. What can I do with what Allah has given me to bring about goodness in this ummah? How can I use the position that Allah has given me to be a source of victory to this ummah? How can I be a source of justice in a world full of injustice? And they understand, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. And subhanAllah, as the end of this ayah goes, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And Allah is surely with the good doers. And Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhuma said, بِالنَّصْرِ وَالْمَعُونَ. With victory and support. His aid comes to those types of people who are sincere, who are dedicated, who keep knocking on every single door, who exert themselves, who do not let obstacles in the way make them think in a defeated way that we're done. They know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with them. من قال هلك الناس فهو أهلكهم فهو أهلكهم. They're narrated in both ways. There are people that sit around and say, look, the ummah's done. Inshallah, we'll get Jannah somehow. Inshallah, things will be okay after. And the Prophet ﷺ says, whoever says that people have no hope is the most hopeless of them all. Or he's the one that's making them hopeless. On the other hand, know, dear brother or sister, in this time, that sincerity breeds clarity. Clarity breeds creativity. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open up pathways for you if you are sincere with Him. If you want to help the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah Azza wa Jal will guide you to ways to help the cause of Allah. With everything that you're studying, with everything that you're learning, so long as you apply what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown you of good with absolutely no hesitation, with no taraddud. You see, Omar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu, if you put khair in front of him, if you put good in front of him, and he knew that it was good, there was absolutely no hesitation towards that good. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept showing him what the next good was. And dear brothers and sisters, subhanallah, in this world, in the time that we are in right now, وَيَمْكُرُونَ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. They plan and Allah plans, and Allah is the best of planners. I just left the United States, and subhanAllah, in the US you have these encampments. Who even thought about the idea of putting a bunch of tents on college campuses over there and making sure that they insist that they push the issue? And all the money in the world trying to shut them down, they shut it down with force, another one opens. They shut it down with force, another one opens. The Islamophobia that was bred after Gaza, after this assault happened, and the amount of people that are embracing Islam is like absolutely never before. Because at the end of the day, one of the reasons why we believe in our plans is we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala plans for us when we obey Him. And even their plans will backfire and become khair for us as an ummah. But it comes back to us. How sincere are you? وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Those who strive in our way, Allah is going to guide you in your path. How do I help the ummah from the comfort of my home? Oh, I'm not a sheikh. Oh, I'm not a da'i. Oh, I live here. Oh, I live there. Oh, I have this situation. I have that situation. Be stubborn, dear brothers and sisters, in knocking on those doors of khair. And watch what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens for you. But never stop obsessing over how to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the circumstances that He has given to you. And Allah Azza wa Jal will give you that fath, will give you that opening to the next thing and teach you what it is that you need to be doing next as a result of you doing what He has already taught you to do. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for victory. We ask Allah for success. We ask Allah to forgive us for our shortcomings.